But we're excited to have you. We're excited to have everybody here. How's everybody feel? Okay, that sounds a little bit weak, a little bit whack. Come on now, how's everybody feel? All right. You gotta feel good. You're alive, you're amongst the living, you're breathing. That's a good thing. So we all feel good today. And so we're gonna start this ceremony off with a tradition, but slightly different. So I'm gonna call up Ms. Bianca Tomlinson, who is the Vice President of the Black Student Union, and she's going to present to you Lift Every Voice and Sing in a historical format so that you know where this song came from. All right, let's give it up for Bianca, everybody.
Good day, everyone. It is customary that the Black National Anthem is sung at openings ceremonies such as this one. But today, we're going to learn a little bit about the song that made history and has become a staple in the Black culture. In 1899, a young poet and school principal named James Weldon Johnson was asked to address a crowd in Jacksonville, Florida, for the coming anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Just 2 decades had passed since the Reconstruction era, and lynchings were on the rise in the segregated South. Instead of preparing an ordinary speech, Johnson decided to write a poem. He began with a simple but powerful line, a call to action. Lift every voice and sing. He paced back and forth on his front porch, agonizing over the lines of the poem. After finishing each stanza, he handed over the lyrics to his classically trained brother, John Rosamond Johnson, who put the words to music according to an account from James Weldon Johnson, recalled in the book Anthem, Social Movements and the Sound of Solidarity in the African Diaspora by Shanna L. Redmond. As he wrote the words, evoking the struggle and the resilience of his ancestors, he began to weep. I could not keep back the tears and made no effort to do so, Johnson recounted. The following year, a chorus of 500 school children performed the song at the Lincoln birthday celebration on February 12, 1900. The song quickly took off, becoming a rallying cry for Black communities in the South, or as one observer noted at the time, a collective prayer. It was embraced as a hymn in churches and performed at graduation ceremonies and in school assemblies. In 1919, 100 years ago, the National Anthem, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, adopted Lift Every Voice and Sing as its official song. Today, Lift Every Voice and Sing is one of the most cherished songs of the African American civil rights movement and is known as the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty, let our rejoicing rise. High as the listening skies, let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march until victory is won. Today we celebrate James Weldon Johnson and his impact on Black culture and American history. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bianca. That was well done. Now we know why many of our services and programs start with the Negro or Black National Anthem. Now we're going to have one of the greatest women that we call here at Union County College, who's our leader, and we're going to have her come with her welcome, our president, Dr. Margaret M. McMenamin.
Thank you, Zulima, and thank you, Bianca. That was wonderful to learn the history of the Black National Anthem. I'm here to welcome everyone on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the Board of Governors, our faculty, staff, and administrators, and tens of thousands of students who come to Union County College every day for an opportunity for a better life. I want to welcome you to the Cranford campus and to this wonderful Black History Month kickoff celebration. I'm not a historian, but my parents taught me that history was important in that history will repeat itself. And we need to be aware of our history in order to prevent the bad things that happened in the past from happening again in the future. But today, we're not talking about bad things, we're talking about great things. We are talking about remembering and honoring and recognizing the tremendous great history of Black citizens of the United States of America and the wonderful contributions that they have made to our great country. Union County College is a proud minority-serving institution. Our mission, something we're real proud of, and many of you have heard many times, transforming our community one student at a time. And it's not just the rich, but we have a lot of poor kids, and it's not just white, it's Black, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islanders, and everything else here at Union County College. We are proud, young and old, every race, religion, and ethnicity, to welcome you to Union County College and to invite you to take advantage of this month to learn about the great history of Black citizens of America. So on behalf of all of us at the college, thank you for coming to this celebration. And now I'd like to introduce you to a tremendous partner of the college. You know, we don't do it alone. We have a partner in the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders, and representing that group who makes this college possible is our friend, one of our favorites. We're not allowed to have favorites, but our favorite freeholder, Sergio Granados. Welcome, Freeholder Granados. Sergio.
On behalf of our chair, Betty Jane Kowalski, and our entire Freeholder Board, we thank Union County College for the work they're doing in celebrating Black History Month. But more importantly, during this month, we shouldn't be celebrating just Black History Month. We should be educating individuals about Black History Month. The tremendous amount of educational efforts I put forward through African Americans, the business owners, the educators, the individuals who led the fight in making sure that we have the freedoms we have here today. Because when those individuals were fighting, they weren't just fighting also for African Americans, but they were fighting for minorities. And I stand here today on the backs of each one of them who fought for me to be where I am today as a Latino, who fought for many African Americans to be where they're at today. Individuals who's gonna come up speak next, individuals like Jana Williams, who is our coordinator of veteran services for the County of Union, individual who continues to be not only an individual who gives back to her community, but an individual also who never forgets to give back to others and make a difference. So this month, we're not only here to celebrate, but more importantly, we're here to make sure that we continue to work together through our educational facilities here at Union County College and through various educational facilities in the County of Union in making sure that we're collaborating together to help educate others. Because the only way we can succeed is through education, and let's make sure we continue to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stick around. Okay. And we have friends in the County of Union, but we also have friends in Trenton. And one of our favorite legislators in Trenton, Assemblyman Jamel Holley, got called to Trenton this morning for a caucus, but he has sent his chief of staff and one of his legislative aides. I might have just given him a promotion, not sure. Terrific. But Osner Charles is here to offer a resolution on behalf of your Assemblyman, the man who is fighting for you in Trenton, Assemblyman Jamel Holley.
And I will not take the promotion. His chief of staff is right here with me, Aisha Hayward.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I bring greetings and happy Black History Month from Assemblyman Holley. We brought a citation to present to the college, and we just want to commemorate the Black History Month kickoff. We thank you guys for everything that you do. We love you, and the Assemblyman is here for anything you need from us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. you. We love you. You know that. You know, I wish I could stand up here in 2019 and tell you bigotry is dead, but we can't do that. But you look around this room, it's going to be this generation that's going to end bigotry and hatred and racism. You're going to be the ones to do it. Programs like this will help. It surrounds us sometimes, but what do I always say? I like to quote one of my favorite people, Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. We go high. So the next lady I want to introduce you to is okay, all right, one more. Let's get Sergio back up here.
So I just want to give a little more accolades to Assemblyman Jamel Holley. I know his staff has done an amazing job to Representative, but most importantly, one of the major acknowledgments I can give about Assemblyman Jamel Holley is that he's the first African American to become Assemblyman in the 20th District, so that definitely deserves a big round of applause for that. So I just want to thank him for his leadership and his work serving the residents of the 20th District. Sorry.
Thank you, Freeholder Granados. And he's fighting for us. He's fighting for Union County College students. We have friends in high places, and they're working for you. In the County of Union, we care about our veterans, and the Freeholder Board has made a commitment to veterans, and they've offered to have their veterans veteran service coordinator here to give us a few words today. I know her. She's worked with us. She's worked with the college in our Veterans Center. And so please give a warm welcome to Jana Williams, the Veteran Service Coordinator from the County of Union.
No problem. Like she said, my name is Jana Williams. I'm also an Air Force veteran, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I work in Union County Veterans Service Office. I'm super excited to be a part of your Black History Month celebration. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. So I was a military brat before I went in the Air Force myself. So by being a military brat, I attended a lot of schools where I was always the minority. But the one that particularly stands out to me the most was when I was in middle school. I actually had a history teacher tell me that he was not celebrating Black History Month. That made me feel very unwelcome, uneasy. So what I came here to tell you today, that Black History Month is not only about celebrating, but it's about educating. I welcome all nationalities to take the time to educate yourself, not only about your Malcolm X's or your Martin Luther King Jr., those who fought for equality who didn't make the history books. Black History Month is not only to be celebrated during the month of February, but all month long. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Jana Williams, and thanks for that reminder. It's not just the people on the headlines, but it's the people who fought every day in the union halls, in the diners, on the buses, collecting garbage, fighting for equality, fighting for human rights. Now, we're delighted to have an opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker, and you're going to do that, Zalima? So I'm going to turn it back over to our leader of this Black History Month event, Zalima Cheek, and she's going to do a fabulous introduction of our guest speaker. Zalima.
Thank you, President. Everyone who has a program can read along with me, but if you do not, I'm going to make sure that you know about the person who's about to speak before you, because I'm really excited to hear him today. His name is DeAndre M. Salter, and he serves as Chief Executive Officer at Professional Risk Solutions, LLC. Mr. Salter has 15 years of insurance industry experience. From key underwriting and project management spots at Chubb and CNA, he moved to Crum & Forster, where he launched its specialist D&O business unit. Noting that commercial agents and brokers were not ideally served by the conventional wholesale brokerage model, Mr. Salter launched PRS in 2001 to offer the busy agent a better way to handle complex D&O, E&O, and EPLI business. Starting on a second-hand desk in a basement office, Mr. Salter quickly built PRS into one of the fastest growing brokerage in the field. A graduate of Drew University, who was here today. Is Drew still in the house? I don't know if Drew's still in the house, but he's very proud of being Drew. A graduate of Drew University with additional degrees from the University of Brussels and the University of Mexico, Mr. Salter was recognized by the Network Journal as one of the top 40 Black executives in America. DeAndre Salter is a successful entrepreneur and acclaimed author that has been recognized by the state of New Jersey for creating a for-profit social enterprise that moved 55 families from unemployment into entrepreneurship. His proven coaching methodology cuts through the fluff and empowers startup-minded and enterprising individuals with the tools they need to start, build, or increase their business. DeAndre Salter also serves as lead pastor at Impact Church at South Plainfield. So we welcome Mr. DeAndre Salter to be here today, and I'm asking that you give him a round, warm welcome applause, because he's going to come in his way as he sees fit. Mr. Salter. Pastor D.
How's everybody doing today? Oh, I can't hear you guys. How's everybody doing today? Oh, come on, a little bit louder. How's everybody doing today? Come on, a little more energy. How's everybody doing today? Listen, I want to thank President McMenamin, Dr. Hargrove, Zalima, for inviting me to UCC. My voice is a little weak. It's a little weak, and there's a reason for that. And you may know the reason if you saw the game on Sunday. Anybody watch the Super Bowl on Sunday? It was a little boring, right? It was a lot boring, right? It was a little boring. All right, but you guys watched the game on Sunday. So on Sunday while you were watching the game, this is where I was. I was on the field, and I was screaming even at the boring game because I was able to see people like Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald warm up and high five Tom Brady and Gronkowski and all those people, and I was hanging out with some former NFL pros. Now, you wonder why I show you that. It's because I was there for one reason, and the reason that I hope that you will embrace today. I was invited there because I was successful at what I was doing in my industry. In fact, my entire trip, first class, hotel, room, flight, luxury box suite, field passes, VIP passes to every event, locker room access, was provided to me by a Fortune 500 corporation who paid for myself and other individuals to be in that place. You know, it's funny what success will do. It will open up doors for you to meet new people and experience new things. And that's what I want to share with you today. We talk about Black history, and we talk about so many different things, and oftentimes we highlight struggles and we highlight challenges. But I so commend UCC today for highlighting success and celebrating how we overcome struggles, because that's part of my story, and it's going to be part of your story. In fact, history is what you make it. It's not where you start from, because you may start from a place where I started from. That's me. I was only 9 years old in that picture. It was 1979. I was 9 years old in that picture. We didn't come from great means. We came from meager means. A working class family, 2 parents. My dad was a mechanic. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, trying best we could to make ends meet. I'm one of 5 children. But yet my parents focused us on not where we were. They caused us not to look at the poverty we might have struggled with, the lack that sometimes we had to deal with from day to day, but they focused us on 4 things that have driven me to be a success, and not just me, all of my siblings as well. My parents taught me very early on the 4 things that I should embrace. They taught me that education is of the greatest value of anything you could ever have, because education adds value to you. I'm so glad that the students that are here are improving themselves, because that means you agree with my parents that education adds value. The second thing that my parents taught me was not only that education adds value, but they taught me that family adds value, and that it's very important to build a strong family. No matter where your family starts from, that the individual goal to build a community has to build a family, because you can't build community without building family. The third thing that they taught me early on was to work hard. Work hard every day, Work twice as hard as the next person, 3 times as hard as the person ahead of you, because that's the only way you're going to get ahead. So when I stood at that Super Bowl and I was sitting on the sidelines, there was a moment where I was just crying to myself because I was looking up into the clouds in the sky when it opened up the ceiling and the jets were flying over. I got teary-eyed because I was all the way back to this moment, because this is where I started from. And I began to recall all the lessons that my parents had taught me and passed down to me. You know, it's not where you start from, but it's where you finish. So today, I'm a CEO. I built a $80 million sales organization from scratch off an office, a secondhand office desk. Matter of fact, it was so raggedy in my office when I first opened up, I didn't have a real phone system and I had no employees. So to fool the largest clients in the world, what I would do is I would answer the phone in a different voice and I go, hello, welcome to Professional Risk Solutions. And they would say, well, who is this speaking? And I would tell them who was speaking. I would say, would you like to speak to DeAndre? And I would click the phone to make it sound like it had a real phone transfer. And I would tap the phone on the desk and then I would get on the phone. Hi, it's DeAndre speaking. How are you? See, sometimes you just gotta persevere and you gotta struggle through some things. And I didn't have all the means that I needed. But it was back to those lessons that my parents taught me: education, hard work, value in family, value in community. And then I'm able to build a company and have all these great experiences, like be at the Super Bowl. I now even sit on the board at Drew University, my alma mater. I'm on the board of trustees. There you see me standing with the Hall of Famer, all-time great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those experiences came from education, hard work, strong family support, strong community. So wherever you are today, you don't have to worry about that. See, the darkness will try to keep you in your yesterday. Darkness will try to keep you in your lack. It'll try to keep you in your struggle and your challenges. Now, if I have some real people here this morning, I just want you to be honest with me this morning. How many of you have faced some serious challenges already in your life? Anybody other than me? Anybody? All right. Now, the real honest people, this is only for the real honest people, those who are really going to be transparent and keep it 100. How many of you have often felt like quitting and giving up? That's right. See, that's what darkness will do to you. You know, Martin Luther King was one of my idols, and Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot chase out darkness. You need the light to do that. And that's why I'm here to encourage you today. You need the light. What is the light? You need the light of education, the light of hard work, the light of family, the light of support, the light of wanting to improve your future and think till tomorrow. We talk about Black history, and I want to show you history is what you make it. History is what you make it. Yes, those are not rented items. That's my house in Florida. That's my Bentley, my Ferrari. Those are toys that I've had. I don't show you those to brag to you about them. I'm showing you them to show you what's possible. Because remember, you saw the picture of where I came from. I was just a little kid born in Newark, New Jersey, and of meager means. But yet, if you press into the light and don't let the darkness pull you to your yesterday, you can keep going forward and find your own story. My story, we talk about Black history. Let me personalize Black history for you real quick. My people came from 2 countries. I've done the research in my family. We've hired genealogists, and let me tell you a little bit about the story. We come from 2 countries, Nigeria and Ghana. My male ancestor is Yoruban. My female ancestor is Ashanti. We were taken from Africa and sold in a slave auction in 1796. My male ancestor was sold in a place that looked just like this, into Savannah. All slaves that were sold in the port of Savannah came right through Johnson Square. In fact, my ancestor was sold to a man named Henry Salter. My last name is Salter not because I chose that last name. My last name is Salter because after the Civil War, the first census that was taken, my ancestor didn't know his last name because he had none. He was just identified by his first name. So like most African Americans who were freed slaves, he told them the name of the plantation he was from. Because the census taker would ask you, well, what plantation are you from? He said, the Salter plantation. If you look on that census, you will see my ancestor's name as X Salter. He didn't even really know his first name. The reality is he had to face struggle just like you and I. He had to face challenges just like you and I. He was born, and then he gave birth to my great-great-grandfather. My great-great-grandfather, we don't know his real name. We just know he was known from stories as Bunk. He was born in 1826, which means he was still born a slave. My great-great-grandfather, that's not too many generations ago, was born a slave. And Bunk Salter was born in Early County, Georgia. And if you look there at that little yellow on the map, Early County, Georgia is as deep south as you can get. 1826. This is the deep South. This is before the Civil War, right near the panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama, and Georgia. It was a rough spot for black folks at that time. But Bunk was able to press through. And after 1865, when slaves were freed, here's the story of my family, how it continues to my time today. The very same land that we were slaves on, my great-great-grandfather needed work. My great-great-grandfather needed work. And so what they did was they stayed on the plantation and they became sharecroppers. Sharecropping is just a word for those who used to be slaves who became agricultural workers for wages. They were very low wages. They were very below what we would consider a minimum wage, but they persevered. Think about this. They could have let all those people who were former slaves, could have let slavery stop them from the future. They could have wallowed in their misery. They could have kept singing songs about the by and by. They could have just been angry about what had happened to them. But according to the stories in my family, they weren't angry about what happened to them because they were more focused on what could happen to them now that freedom was here. That's the story of my family. They became sharecroppers. But here's an interesting thing. So Bunk was the first slave, ex-slave to become a sharecropper in my family. And all the other family members that sharecrop, Bunk had this incredible idea. He decided to collect everybody's money and begin to save it from all the crops that they had. And every time they would get money, they would give it to Bunk. And what happened after the Civil War is that Southern farmers had a hard time sometimes making ends meet. So Bunk's genius idea worked out. The land that we worked on, the land that we cropped, Bunk would then go to the guy who owned it. His name was Stoss. Stoss was one of the sons of Henry. And he would negotiate a deal so that we could start buying small parcels of land. The first small parcel of land we bought was the one where our slave quarters were, that we expanded into a family shack. My daddy is one of 13 children. His daddy is one of 16 children. And when I show you the house in just a second, you're going to wonder how they all looked for the future when it was so cramped into what was reminding them of their past. But by following along with Bunk, they were able to move into this house right here. The larger part of the structure is what was extended. But just imagine when Bunk was born, that little part in the front, he and other people in the entire community, when they were slaves and sharecroppers, that's the only part that would have been there. A lot of people. No basement in the floor, no air conditioning in the heat of summer, and that little bitty house. But because of Bunk's vision, his hard work, his perseverance, we were able to buy this land and crop this land. I'm really excited to tell you that, in fact, my family still owns the land that we were slaves on. We eventually bought all the land. I'm never in line to get it because I have an uncle that had 26 children. So in trust, indeed, I'll never have access to it. But I'm able to go down there and walk the land that we were once slaves on, all because somebody fought through history's struggles and persevered. See, that's what I want you to get you to see. It's about, your success is never going to be by yourself. That's right. President McMillan said earlier, she said that we're not here by ourselves. You don't make UCC happen by itself. It takes a lot of people. It took a lot of people with Bunk, and it's taken a lot of people with me. This is where I live today. We decorate big for Christmas, right? I'm really big on decorating. Why? I put a lot of lights out. We hire professional decorators, and we just brighten up the place, and we leave the lights on all night long. People don't understand why I do that. And when I first moved into the neighborhood, it was kind of dark, and people didn't understand why I did that. The reason why I always light my house up is not to brag or to show it off. It's because I really believe in being the light. I really believe that the light must always stay on. When I light my house up for Christmas and keep the lights all night long, sometimes I go out periodically and I just look at the lights. Why? To encourage myself and remind me of where I've come from, that yesterday didn't stop me. Yesterday is just a holding spot that you got to get out of so you can move on to tomorrow. And that's what these lights remind me of. It reminds me of what Martin Luther King said, that darkness cannot move darkness. If you lose hope, if you stop challenging yourself, if you keep thinking about where you've been, you won't be able to envision and see where you have the potential to go for tomorrow. Some of the greatest dreams, guys, are locked in the grave because somebody gave up hope. And I really don't want you guys to do that. And I'm not just talking to students. I'm talking to administrators. I'm talking to professors. I'm talking to the politicians in the room. Don't stop fighting for the community. Don't stop fighting to educate people. I know it's hard, and darkness wants to tell you, quit, quit, quit. Darkness says things like, oh, it's not worth it. Darkness will tell you people aren't worth it. Darkness will cause you to look at your neighbor and not trust them. Darkness will cause you to say, I don't think that I want to do this anymore. But here's what light will do. And light can only come from the inside of you. Light will cause you to pierce the darkness and cause you to shine in the middle of the darkness and take personal responsibility to say, you know what? They may not see what I can do. The world may not understand who I am, but I know who I am, and I can do this. And this is what you can do. You can make the world a better place. I'm thankful. I count it a privilege to speak to you today. I count it a privilege to go to high schools or other colleges and speak. I'm able to speak on stages with Grammy Award-winning, 5-time Grammy Award-winning producers, and I'm able to go different places. Why? Because I've been able to use my success to be a light in the world. Every summer, here's what success can do for you. You can not only pierce the darkness in your life, but then you can turn around, help your neighbor out, pierce the darkness in their life. Not just build your family, but build strong families. Every summer, 25 kids we send to summer college, and we pay for it, my wife and I, so they can have a better future. Every summer, we educate kids in the literacy program so they can increase their reading levels. Why? So they can have a brighter future. I want to encourage you not just to pursue success for success' sake, not just to get enamored with the trinkets and the toys that you can have, but actually get enamored with what the meaning of your life can be, the value that you can add to others. Because you're not going to get there by yourself. You're going to need a lot of people. You see this picture? That picture is taken in Harlem, New York, at my sister's house. I'm blessed to be in a great family because of Bunk, because of my granddaddy, Pat, because of my father, Samuel, who's been a great man and taught me so much work. We've been able to produce a family where my sister's a doctor who has her own practice. My brother's a startup tech guy in Silicon Valley. My other sister is a assistant principal in the Plainfield school system. And my baby sister is a documentary producer who produces documentaries for celebrities and entertainers. All I'm here to tell you is Black history is not just what you read in the past. Black history is happening right now. Black history is in this room. You just don't let the darkness take your light. And I just encourage you, be the light. Thank you so much. I hope I was able to share something that blessed you.
Thank you, Mr. Salter. Let's give him another round of applause. It's really good to see successes through perseverance. That is our theme for this month, that anything that you want to do, you can succeed as long as you continue to persevere. And this is a great example of things that not so much that you can emulate, but you can definitely take in and say, I can do my own thing in my own way and be my own person and have my own successes. So we thank Mr. Salter for that and for your candidness, for your transparency, for all of that. This was great. How y'all feel? Let's try that again. How y'all feel? Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So now we're almost wrapping up because we got the colorblind band ready because they want to do some open mic stuff going on. So we're going to have our address of thanks by our very own Dr. Damon Hargrove, who's the Vice President for Student Development. Let's give it up for Dr. Hargrove.
Thank you so much. Can we give another round of applause to Mr. Salters? Excellent, phenomenal. Be the light. So, okay, this is what we're going to do. I want you to turn to your neighbor. I want you to say, neighbor, I learned something today. You all know that. Mr. Salters, I know you know about that, right? So, you know, I think that the learning lessons in who we are is not just Black history. This is American history. This is American history. And so all of us can find ourselves within that history and who we are. So I want us to enjoy the rest of this day and also the rest of the month. We have a very elaborate program planned out for you. But before we move on, I just want you all to join me in thanking some critical individuals who were responsible for planning not only this day, but the entire month. So let's give a round of applause to the Black History Month Committee. They developed a month-long celebration. That committee is chaired by Mr. Richard Morris, assisted by our very own Ms. Zulima Cheek, Ms. Barbara Ruggieri, Professor Carrie Steenberg, and Mr. Arain Scott was also on that committee. So we thank you along with the Accepting Community and Diversity Committee. A special thanks to today's performers. We had I think, one of the best renditions of the national anthem I've ever heard. And you say, why so when it wasn't sung? I think a lot of times we do things not knowing why we do it. And so that was a historical underpinning that taught us exactly why that song is so monumental and important in the history of black individuals. And so Bianca did a phenomenal job reading that. So let's give her a round of applause as well. Of course, Mr. Salter, the Colorblind Band, we love them, and we're going to hear some more from them. And we couldn't be, we cannot and never will forget our passionate leader, Dr. McMenamin, for opening up the program for us. Thank you. Finally, the programs that we offer here at Union, they can't be possible without the contributions from our elected officials. So you saw that our Honorable Sergio Granados was here today from the Union County Freeholders. He's always, I think, at every single program that we offer, supporting us, along with Jamel Holly, who does an incredible job supporting our institution. So let's give them a round of applause as well. So, did you see that catch? That was similar to what was going on Sunday with the Patriots. I'm a Patriots fan. I wasn't in the game, but I know that you saw the catch. So finally, we're going to end the program with blind band is going to take us, colorblind band is going to take us out. And the next thing that we're going to do is open up for a mic, and you all are welcome to join us for refreshments down in the pit. Thank you very much.